Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2020 Netflix comedy horror sequel, The Babysitter, Killer Queen, a film that is once again directed by MCG, who is returning to direct, and we have Judah Lewis returning as Cole, Samara Weaving, Jenny Ortega, Emily Aylan Lind, Andrew Batchelor, Robbie Amell, Bella Thorne, Hannah May Lee, Ken Marino and Leslie Bibb. So you've got a lot of familiar faces returning here from the first film. Now, the first film, The Babysitter, was a bit of a shock hit, I would say, on Netflix in 2017. I think it came out. Certainly it was a surprise for me. I really enjoyed that film. It came out of nowhere, and it came at a time when Netflix weren't really doing great films, their own original films. Not really. They've really started knocking it out of the park these last couple of years, but in 2017 not so much. But I remember really enjoying the first one, and I have reviewed it on the channel if you want to look back and check it out. So I was really up for a sequel for this one. And what did we get in this sequel? Well, it's set 2 years later, and Cole is not really in a good place. Nobody believes him after the events of the first film. There was no physical evidence left, bodies, etc. So everybody thinks he's nuts, really. He's an outcast at high school, he's struggling to fit in, and the only friend he's got is Melanie. And she invites him to like a beach party. He's a bit reluctant because he's a good boy, but he's also got a crush on Melanie, so he decides to go, much to the dismay of his parents, who want to send him to like this psychiatric school that's going to try and help him, because they think he's nuts as well, like everyone else. So he goes to this beach party in the hopes of getting together with Melanie, and lo and behold, the blood cult has returned. All the familiar faces from the first film. They've been given a reprieve from hell for 24 hours to complete this ritual, otherwise they'll all get dragged back down to the fiery pits of hell. And it's up to Cole and a new character, Phoebe, to band together and try and survive the night. So that's the premise that we get here with this film. What are my thoughts on The Babysitter, Killer Queen? Is it a worthy sequel to the first one? Well, simply put, yes. I really enjoyed this. Almost as much as the first, maybe just as much as the first. It was really well put together. It was well written. MCG, I know he has his critics, and when he goes out of his comfort zone, MCG, you see his weaknesses as a director, but he's great at this sort of direction, you know what I mean? Nicely paced, fresh, young feeling films, and that's one thing that really jumped out to me in this film. It felt fresh, it felt young, it felt clever, and a lot of that is down to the writing, but also the direction. So I think MCG does a really good job here. And like I've mentioned, the film's really nicely paced. It doesn't take that long for things to get going. As with the previous film, I do seem to remember when I watched the first Babysitter, I was really shocked and taken aback with the gore and the violence in it. But it's all kind of done tongue-in-cheek, and that's exactly what we get again with this film. The violence is on par with the first one. There's blood and gore everywhere. Continuously creative deaths for some of these characters, and some absolutely brilliant one-liners. I mean, Andrew Batchelor, who plays John, comes up with some of the best one-liners I've heard for years. I mean, he's absolutely hilarious. But so's Robbie Amell as well. You know, the guy who's constantly with his shirt off. He's got some great one-liners as well. So it genuinely makes you laugh, this film. But there's also moments in it, there's gentler, calmer moments in this that really work as well. It's got a real heart at the centre of it, this film. And that's because the characters are really likeable. Cole's a likeable character. This new character they introduced, Phoebe, who's a very similar character to Cole. She's very damaged and very vulnerable, been through similar things. she as well is a great addition, and there's a real connection between them characters. So that it's chocked full of characters here that you've got real affection for. Even some of these lunatics in this blood cult, they're brilliant. They're really fun characters and really enjoyable characters to watch. And I think that's something that this film really gets right. Another thing that I think it really gets right and nails is there's some really satisfying character arcs in this story as well. For Cole, for Phoebe, and a couple of others. Samara Weaving returns, and I really enjoyed what they did with her character. Thought it was inventive and creative, and they did something a little bit different with her that really worked. So it felt fun, this film. I really enjoyed it. It felt like it was, like I said, it was very youthful, loads of energy about it, funny, very witty, and cleverly made film, and it's a film that I really enjoyed. So it's definitely worth checking out. I can't remember what I scored the first Babysitter as. Probably a similar score. I haven't checked, to be honest, but I'm giving this one an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it, and it's definitely, if you haven't seen the first Babysitter, check that one out first, then give this one a watch. I think you'll enjoy both of them, because they are really satisfying and fun movies. So that is my review for The Babysitter Killer Queen. Thank you very much for watching. Of course, I will be back with more content on Screen Stars very soon.